Hi, I'm Heidi from Rondos Creations, where we make and supply creations for you, your home and your friends. This is our how-to instruction video for the metal embossed plant tags kit. I'm going to show you how to make your tags using this kit available from Rondos Creations.
Here's what's in your kit: your how-to instructions card, a workboard, some double-sided sticky sheet and squared tracing paper. You've got your metal sheets and tags. There's some wire hangers for the tags, a stylus, a paper pencil, there's some ink and its applicator, and you also get a selection of printed design sheets as well. Extra things you'll need are some washing up liquid, a pair of scissors, a biro or ballpoint pen, and some kitchen paper, paper towel, or some newspaper. To begin with, I'm going to show you the 3 techniques used to create your designs. And they are low relief, which is a single raised line, high relief, which is a raised design, and engraving, which is a single indented line or lines. So we're going to use the smaller piece of metal sheet just to experiment with these techniques before we begin. So to start with, I'm going to show you low relief. So we're going to take our workboard and we're going to place it with the softer side face up. And you're going to take your metal sheet, and with low relief, we're going to work from the back to begin with. Now, in fact, there is no front and back to these metal sheets, but to make it easier so we know which side we're working on, we're going to mark, or I have already marked, the sheet with a little F on one side, so I know. So with the low relief, we want to place the metal sheet face down, because we're going to work from the back, onto your soft side of workboard. And we're going to take the metal stylus and dip the tip of it into a little bit of washing up liquid, because it helps it glide on the metal a bit easier. So dip it in, and then we're going to make a design onto the sheet, and I'm going to draw a little heart for this one. So I'm going to push down with the tip of my stylus, and then pressure wise it's a little bit harder, the pressure you want, than if you were writing, and create your design, or follow the design which I'll show you how to put onto the metal sheet afterwards. So there, I've just pressed through from the wrong side, or the back side of the metal sheet, my little heart design. Then I'm going to flip the sheet over, and also my workboard, I'm going to flip that over, so I've got, oops, sorry about that, so I've got the heart side facing up, and also flip over my metal sheet now, so I've got the F, the front side facing up. And I'm going to take my paper pencil, this one you can see I've used a bit, it's gone black, and I'm just going to rub around the outside of my design, of the lines that I've just created on the reverse. And I'm going to just rub around the outside of the line, and then for this technique also around the inside of the line as well, just to push that metal down flat. But I'm careful not to go over the line that I've just done, because I don't want to flatten it. And then again, I'm going to use my metal stylus, and if I want to put a bit more fairy liquid on, washing up liquid on, just to make it glide a bit better, I'll dip it back in. And again, I want to define that line and sharpen it up, so I'm going to work around the outside just to sharpen it up and define it inside like so. And that's, you can see we've got a single line, so that's my low relief design. Now I'm going to show you the high relief. So again, for this one, we're working onto the back of the metal sheet to begin with. So I'll flip it over so it's face down and it's onto the soft side of your workboard. And I'm going to do a heart again. And with my metal stylus, I'm going to, again, get a little bit of washing up liquid. And I'm going to draw, like I did first time, my design on the back of my metal sheet. Again, I'm going to do a heart just so you can see the difference. And again, scribe it through. And I've pressed quite firmly onto the back of my sheet. Now again, I'm going to flip this over so it's face up. And again, I want my workboard turned over so I've got the hard side up. And I'm going to take my paper pencil, and this time I'm not going to go on the inside of the line, I'm just going to go around the outside of my design or my line and rub to flatten the metal around my design and define it. So this time I don't want to flatten the middle part. I want it raised up, so I shall define around the outside of my design first. And again, I'm going to go back in with my metal tool and sharpen up my design like so. Then the next step is to flip it. There's a lot of turning with this, and place it face down onto the hard side of the workboard. And I'm going to take my paper pencil and I'm going to go round on the inside of the line, so the inside of my design, because I want the heart to be raised. And I'm going to rub round, almost like you're colouring in, the inside of my design. And this stretches the metal, so you want to try and do it evenly to make it raised up nice and evenly. And that's pushing the metal up to the level of the workboard that I'm working onto. So that's why I'm pressing onto the hard side. There we go, like so. And then I'm going to turn it back over so I've got the front side facing up now. And I'm still on the hard side of my workboard, and I'm going to rub around again with the paper tool, paper pencil, around the outside of my heart. Careful not to press down on the inside. I don't want to squash my design. There we go, and that is the high relief, a flat high relief. I'll just show you. So if you can see, that one has got the middle bit of the design raised up, and this one is just the line, the outside line is raised up. This is the whole design is raised up, but with a flat top to it. So the third technique is engraving, and this technique is worked on the front side of your sheet to begin with. So I've got my front side facing up, and I'm working onto my soft side of workboard. So again, I got my metal stylus, just get a bit of washing up liquid, and I'm going to work on the front. Again, I'm going to do a heart design. This technique is good for lettering and you're just pressing in. So this gives you a indented line or design. So again, I've done a heart shape, and I'm going to just go over that again just to make sure it's nicely defined. And that is very simple, and that is the engraving technique. So we're pressing in, we're indenting from the front like so, and that's your engraving technique. So that is the 3 techniques we are going to use on our tag designs, and it's quite nice to use a combination of all 3 because it gives you a 3D look to your design, just gives it a bit more detail, a bit more interest. So we've got the low relief, high relief, flat high relief, and then the last one, indented. This one is engraving. So now we've experimented with the basic techniques, we're going to create a design on our tag. So choose one of your designs, or you can find your own design or create your own design. I'm going to transfer it onto the squared tracing paper, and you want to make sure that it's sort of lined up with some of the squares, so that makes it easier to position it onto your metal tag. I'm going to take my biro, and I'm just going to basically trace the design onto the tracing paper. Now I'm going to take one of my metal sheets and mark F on one side of it, and I'm going to work onto the hard side of my workboard. So I'm going to put F in the very top corner so it'll get folded round or cut off so we won't see that. So we've got a little F there for the front side. And I'm going to work onto the hard side of my board. Place my sheet on it, and then place my trace design on top of it, and I'm going to line up my lines to get my design centered, so that with a border, even border all around the outside, like so. Just move it over a tiny bit there, and then again I'm going to trace off my design, pressing with my ballpoint pen quite firmly, so that I then transfer the indented design onto my metal sheet. And if for straight lines, if you prefer to get a ruler and use a ruler to draw them so they're perfectly straight, then you can also do that as well. Now hold down your tracing paper and lift up the edge just to check all the lines have gone off and been transferred onto your metal sheet. Obviously we're going to go over these again now. So yes, I think that's all my design transferred. If when you were doing your tracing and your transferring, you're worried about it moving around, you can always use a little bit of sticky tape just to hold it down to stop it moving around as well, or just make sure you're holding it firmly in place. Right, so I can now remove my tracing paper and put that to one side, and my design has been transferred to my metal sheet. So now you can choose what techniques you would like to use for which parts of the design. So for this one, the words, I'm going to use the engraving technique. The letters, I'm going to use the engraving technique. So for that one, we need to turn our workboard over, because we're going to work from the front of the metal, if you remember, to engrave the lines, and we're going to work onto the soft side of the workboard. So with the metal stylus, we take the washing up liquid and just dip it in, just helps it slide. And then I'm going to work into my lines from the front side and engrave my design. So again, you can turn your work around so that you're making it easy to follow the lines of your design. So I'm going to press down again quite firmly and just go over my design, pushing in the metal to get my engraved effect. There, so I've just finished off engraving my letters. So that was working from the front side of the metal. And now I think for my leaves, the chives part in this design, the leaves, I'm going to use the low relief technique. So for that, we want to turn our metal sheet face down onto the soft side and work into the back of the metal sheet. So I'm working onto the back of the design to begin with. So I'm going to take a little bit more washing up liquid and I'm going to follow the design that I can see on the back of it this time, pressing again quite firmly, but it's better to go slightly softer maybe than you think to begin with, and then you can go over it a couple of times just to get the depth that you want. And again, you can turn your design to make it flow, your hand flow easier. So I'm going to repeat this low relief technique on this part of my design. Okay, I'm nearly finished. I've just got one more line to do to finish the leaves part of my design, chives. Like so. So now I want to turn my tag over and I'm going to turn my workboard over, so I'm work on the hard side of the workboard now, and I'm going to take my paper pencil and work around the outside of those lines to make them more defined for a low relief design. Just being careful not to squash any of the parts, the design that I want to stay raised up, and I'm just flattening the metal around them like we've done before. There we go. Now I just want to define or sharpen up the edges of that design, the low relief design, with my metal stylus again, just to sharpen it up a little bit. And obviously where its design is close together, the lines are close together, it's a little bit tricky to get back in, so do be careful not to squash your design. Just go around the edge of it as near as you can, just to define it a bit more. Like so. And so I've got engraved letters for my word, and then low relief for the actual leaves of my chives. So the last thing I'm going to do for this particular tag is just to do the line, just for a bit of detail. And again, I'm going to do that with the engraved technique on this one. So I want to flip over my board again so I can press onto the soft side of my workboard, but I'm going to work again from the right or the front side of my metal sheet. Now for the last line on this one, I'm going to show you with a ruler how you can use a ruler just to make it really straight. So basically just lay your ruler on top of your metal and use that to guide your stylus along. Just put a little bit more liquid on there, washing up liquid. Just guide it along. There we go. And that's it engraved using the ruler there, so you can see that one is lovely and straight. These ones are a bit more natural looking, but it's whichever technique you prefer to get the design looking like you want. Now once you've finished working into your design, we need to remove any residue from the washing up liquid. So either a wet piece of kitchen paper towel or run it under the tap and give it a rub, just gently, just so you're not flattening or bending your sheet because it's quite soft, just to get rid of the residue of washing up liquid. Again, running under the tap gently is a really good way of doing it, and then give it a dry off. Just to clean it up. Now we want to mount our design onto the firm metal tag. So to do that, we need to take our sticky double-sided sheet and cut a piece that is the exact size of your design, your metal sheet. So all I'm going to do is lay that on there and then cut around it, holding it in place, and you can just cut around it. And then, so you want to stick it onto the back of your design, peel off one side of your double-sided, there we go, one side off, and then just pop it lined up on the back of your design. Give it a little press down, not too firmly though, at this point. Then we're going to stick it to our firm metal tag. On one side has probably got a film on it, which you need to just peel off, and then again peel off the other side of your sticky sheet on your design. And we're going to put this tag, oops, it's stuck to me, on to the back of your design, and you'll want it to have an edge round it which will fold over the tag. So we want to try and get it even so when you turn it over, your design's going to be nice and even, like so. So hopefully that'll be even on my tag. Now I'm going to just cut the corners off with the scissors. Like so. One. You don't cut yourself because they are quite sharp, so gently mould the edge up and around your tag, like so, each one, each side, and then place it down on your board. And I'm going to turn my board over actually, so I've got my soft side facing up, and you can work along, just pressing the edge up and onto the back of your tag, just smoothing it out, not with your finger like I said, because it's quite sharp. Use your paper pencil, paper tool, just to smooth it out like so, and work your way around all of the edges. So there we go, you've got all your edges folded round and down. You can flip your tag over, and now you can take your paper pencil and just rub over, just to make sure it's pressed on. Now the next thing to do, so that you can hang your tag up on your metal wire, is to do the hole. So you can flip it over and take your metal stylus and just gently press through the hole, just so that you get an indent, and then you can see it on the right side, and then from the right side push back down through where that hole is quite firmly, and you'll hear it pop, and just give it a wiggle round. There we go. And again with your paper tool, just poke that in just to sort of smooth the edges off. And there's your hole ready to insert your metal wire in a bit. So the next thing to do will be to put the ink on it, just to define your design and give it the nice patina. So I've put some paper towel down, or newspaper, just to protect my worktop, and I'm going to take my ink now, and I'm just going to put a little blob onto my tag, and with my application tool I'm just going to gently, going in one direction to begin with, work the ink into the design. So again, start with a little blob of ink and work it in, see how you get on, and you can turn it round to make it easier. And you want it to pick up the engraving or the high relief work or low relief work that you've done. You can see it's going in and picking out the engraving in my letters. So I'm just going to keep working away at that. And the point with washing the washing up liquid off is if you haven't got rid of all the residue, the ink won't tend to stick to the metal as well. So just keep working into it, and then every now and again, if you want, you can just either take a dry piece of paper towel and just rub away any excess ink, or if it's starting to dry a little bit, just wet your paper towel a tiny bit, make it damp, and rub off any excess and see how your design is looking. With a little bit more ink. And maybe work in a different direction this time. So I'm going to again rub away, try a dry one to begin with, just to buff it up. Go in with a wet cloth or piece of kitchen paper and just take away some of that excess ink that's still on the surface. And then just give it a little wipe and buff. There, and I'm quite pleased with that little bit there. Quite pleased with how my chives design has come out. So the last thing to do to make it into your plant tag is to take your wire hanger, thread it through the back of your tag, and if it's a bit tight to get through, you can open it up with your fingers or a pair of pliers and twist it round. And again, you can tighten it back up with your fingers or pliers, and there it's ready to pop into your plant pot.
I really hope you enjoyed creating your embossed plant tags. We'd love to see your finished pieces. You can share your photos on Instagram, Facebook or Pinterest. Just tag us in at Rondos_creations so we get to see them. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel too to keep up to date with our latest Rondos creation videos. Enjoy creating!